G'day guys! After months and months of delays, the fifth and final James Bond movie featuring Daniel Craig has finally arrived. And even though there's a pandemic, there's no time to die. James Bond has left active service. His piece, however, is short-lived when Felix Leiter, an old friend from the CIA, turns up asking for help, leading Bond onto the trail of a mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. The movie stars Seydoux, Lashana Lynch, Jeffrey Wright, Rami Malek, and of course, for the final time, Daniel Craig. The beginning of this review will contain no spoilers. After I've given my verdict, I will then share some of my thoughts on the spoiler moments, so stay tuned, and if you do like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. I really enjoyed this movie. This was a fun spy movie that is emotionally impactful, narratively satisfying, and has some amazing action set pieces. The cinematography is absolutely stunning, and there were so many shots that I was utterly captivated by. It is truly phenomenal how good modern movie making is at this scale from a technical level. There were many shots that just blew me away with either their beauty or their dramatic movement. Sometimes both. I also want to give a shout out to the sound design team. The sound effects and the way the characters perceive the world around them was very well translated for us, the audience. An example of what I mean is when an explosion happens, the sound becomes distorted and it feels distant, and there's that ringing in your ear. All of this was great and added immensely to my immersion. Like I said earlier, the action in this film is really entertaining. The opening sequence is fucking awesome, and the finale is very emotional. The action sprinkled throughout the movie was always exciting, but I would say during the middle of the movie, it does focus more on plot than it does anything else. That would be one of my slight criticisms of the movie though. The pacing is mostly good, but it does dip midway through. The story itself is fine. It's a generic spy movie plot, but it is a James Bond movie, so what do you really expect? The point is, they execute the story they're telling very effectively. My one major problem with this movie though, is that they wasted Rami Malek. When I heard that Rami Malek was going to be the bad guy in this James Bond movie, I was incredibly excited. He has proved himself a very good actor after his Oscar-winning performance as Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. And I feel the amount of screen time in this movie he has was very underwhelming. His villainous character plays a pivotal role in the story, but truthfully, he isn't even in it that much. No Time to Die is a fitting end to Daniel Craig's 16-year tenure as James Bond. This movie feels way more classic James Bond than any of Craig's previous films. The typical spy story is well executed. The dynamic between all the actors and their characters was really good, especially Daniel Craig and Seydoux. The movie falls apart without their believable chemistry. The movie is also surprisingly quite humorous, and the action set pieces are something special, especially the exhilarating opening to the movie. I would say this is a profound and emotionally satisfying conclusion to this James Bond story that has maintained its continuity over the years. It's a good movie in my opinion, and I would recommend watching it if you're a fan of Daniel Craig's James Bond. Those are my spoiler-free thoughts on the movie. Now I'm going to transition into my spoiler chat where I discuss the spoiler moments that stood out to me. So if you have not yet seen No Time to Die, this is your spoiler warning now. Now, Lashana Lynch's involvement in this movie stirred up quite the controversy leading up to this movie's release. With the media's talk of James Bond becoming a woman, people weighed in with their opinions, and rightly so. In this movie, Lashana Lynch doesn't play James Bond, obviously, but she is the brand new 007 agent. I thought she was awesome in this movie. I liked her presence, and like they say in the movie, it's just a number. My opinion is quite simple. James Bond has and always should be a man. No debate there. The 007 agent, however, can be played by whoever regardless of sex or ethnicity, as long as they're badass and get the job done. And in my opinion, Lashana Lynch was that. Now, James Bond having a kid? Didn't see that one coming. This incarnation of Bond often gets made fun of as he's the Bond that keeps falling in love. But the way this story resolves itself introduces the family aspect, and of course the tragic ending of No Happily Ever After was all amazing. Whilst I did enjoy the tragic plot twist that results in the death of James Bond, I will state the obvious, but this whole moment was very contrived. The way they get to this point, where Rami Malek's character can poison Bond, the feel of a screenwriter could definitely be felt. Bond gets shot, doesn't insta-die, the villain then plays with his food, and then we get to the poisoning, and then we get to the emotional farewell. Like I said, a lot of the final moments felt contrived, and that to me is what makes this goodbye good, not great. I loved the ending, and I did get sweaty eyes, don't get me wrong. But looking at this objectively, the ending isn't as natural as it could have been. That's it. Those are my thoughts on No Time to Die. I really enjoyed this movie, and I hope you enjoyed listening to my thoughts on it. If you are new to the channel, make sure you are subscribed and have that notification button turned on so you never miss out on a video. Thanks so much for watching, I really appreciate it. Make sure you like and comment, and I'll catch you in another video.